Hello, everyone, and welcome to the live stream. Uh, I am Robin Shaw. I am a Canadian teacher, and as you can see, we have a bonus live stream Monday and Tuesday. Today, I'm going to do Writing Lab 8, and tomorrow I'll do Writing Lab 9. I'm doing a lot of writing labs because so many people gave me some sample writing and I want to be sure to check everyone. So I'm doing writing lab today. I'm doing 5 today, and I think I'm doing 5 more tomorrow, 5 paragraphs. And that's homework. If you are interested in me checking your writing live, then you wait till the end of the video and I give the homework, and then you post it in the comments section and I will check it maybe next week. All right. So just quickly before we begin, before we start class, let's take roll call. Let's see who's here. Let's see which students are here. Laga, hello. And Louis, Layla, I am doing your writing today. You've been waiting a long time. One of your writings. And sorry, Layla, you're last because your writing is the biggest, the longest. So I had to put that last. Muslim name, Arabic name, I don't know. Sorry. Bagirishya, Yunus Taleb, hello. Bad Liar and Lolly Lolly, good to see you. Armham, Korean with Grace, Carrie. Carrie says, I came here to read Layla's writing. Well, it is a good story, and it's at the end. I saved the best for the last. Megna, hello. Shaka, hello. All right, I can see some people from WhatsApp. Welcome to the WhatsApp people. Cherry, hi. And okay, a lot of more. Krish, Anjali, okay, Kumal, Nick. Sorry, Nick, doing your writing tomorrow. So Nick, was it today? Here, let me check. Not today. Sorry, that's today. Nick's tomorrow, but you can still watch Nick and learn something. All right, guys, let's get started in the writing lab number 8. I really enjoy reading everyone's writing. That's why I keep doing the writing lab. You guys are writing very interesting stories, topics. You're telling me about yourself. So I enjoy it, and it's not too difficult to fix your writing because you guys are good writers. The spelling has improved, so I'm very happy. Everyone has, great spelling. And if you know me, you know I don't like to check any writing if it has spelling mistakes. Remember, guys, whenever you give writing to an English teacher, it's very rude to give an English teacher some writing with spelling mistakes. That is something that is easy for you to check before you give it to the teacher. So when I get something that has spelling mistakes, you're telling me you don't really care about your writing. And why should I care about your writing is my thinking. So I'm very happy to fix vocabulary problems. I'm very happy to fix grammar problems and all kinds of problems. But I'm very disappointed when I get those spelling mistakes because I don't want to waste time checking spelling, guys. So this week, everyone had perfect spelling, so no problems. All right, so I'm talking too much. Today's writers are Alyssa. I don't think she's here, but she can watch this video later. Wynn, Wynn usually comes a little late. Lenovo, are you here? Gertrudis and Layla. Those are the writing. Those are the people I'm going to look at their writing samples today. They might not be here now, but I sent them all a note that I will be doing their writing in this video. So they might be watching later or come late. And let's get into it. So Alyssa, this is Alyssa. And wait, before I get into that, if you guys don't know, Alyssa is blind. I don't mean to broadcast that, but a lot of you know that Alyssa is in the WhatsApp groups and she watches my live streams and she cannot see. So she's writing everything. You know, I think she's doing it on her phone with the computer. And I tell you what, Alyssa's writing is amazing. It is amazing. And let's take a look. So here it is. She's going to tell a story. And right away, if you guys are watching on your phone, this is going to be small. You see those green points? I decided from now that if I highlight something in green, that's a good thing. So if you see anything highlighted in green, that means I like that word, I like that vocabulary. I don't want to always focus on the negative. Let's focus on the good stuff too. So Alyssa starts her story, and she just wrote a story. Now this is amazing. She just wrote a funny story, and let's take a look. It says, here, let me move this over here. It was a late, bitter, cold evening. All right, so that's good. Bitter, cold, very cold. After a long day of hard work, I decided to take a shortcut towards home. All right, that's how Alyssa starts her story. I like the use of the word bitter, bitter cold, and I like how she uses shortcut, the easy way to get home. And she says, I was walking through a deserted alley. And another word I like, deserted. And what does deserted mean, guys? Tell me in the chat. What does deserted mean? And I will have my drink of soda to help my throat. I didn't feel like water or tea today, so I got some soda. All right, what does deserted mean? I'm just going to check the Anjali aloof, remote. Layla, this is a good idea to make the great vocabulary in the green color. I only did it this week, Layla. When we get to your writing, I checked your writing last week, so I didn't do this policy for your writing, so don't be disappointed. Gertrudis, hello. It isn't possible when you watch the stream. I'm working this morning, but Gertrudis, please watch it at another time because I am talking about your writing. Yeah, deserted is, as I can see, lolly, abandoned, empty. Yeah, nobody's in there. So she's walking through a deserted alley. There's nothing in this alley, okay? And the alley is behind the buildings. It was eerily, I should have highlighted eerily. That's another good word. It was eerily silent that it made my hair stand on end. Layla, a desert is the place without any trees. If deserted, deserts are deserted. So what is she saying here? It was eerily silent. So eerily, I'm going to help you out, guys. Here is kind of strange, very spooky, scary, because it was so quiet. Walking down this deserted alley. Yeah, Nick Sharma. Eerily is a good word. I should have made it green. And then she uses an expression, which again makes Alyssa a great writer here. It made my hair stand on end. So she's using made my hair. So I have a lot of hair. Yes. It made my hair stand on end, which means, when you get so scared, your hair sticks up. Maybe on your neck, your hair sticks up. So we would express that it made my hair stand on end. Hey, Andre. Welcome. So she's using a great expression. She's setting up the scene. Cold evening, walking down the alley, very quiet, and she's feeling a little scared. Yes, it would be an idiom. Clink, clank. Kumar, like goosebumps. Yeah, you're a better teacher than me. Goosebumps. The goosebumps focuses on the bumps. When you get scared or cold, you get goosebumps. Hair stand on end is, like goosebumps. Click, clink, clank, she says. What was that? I turned to my right, to my relief. It was only a stray cat playing with a tin can. All right, so clink, clank. That's the sound of, this is aluminum can, but I can imagine a tin can. The cat is the stray cat. Stray cat doesn't have a home, is playing with a can. So clink, clank. What was that? I turned to my right. It was only a stray cat playing with a tin can. Then suddenly a screeching sound came from behind me. There we have a screeching sound. What is a screeching sound? Well, that's like a screeching sound. I can't do it. My voice. Like a scream, a screech. The screeching sound. You guys think I'm crazy. Sorry, Teddy. I made him scared. The screeching sound came from behind me. Great writing. Great writing. She's really a good creative writer. Without looking back, I bolted. All right. So she has another great word here, bolted. I bolted, which means I ran very, very fast. All right. So she's walking down this alley. The can scared her with the stray cat. Then she hears the screeching sound behind her. She bolted. She ran so fast. All right. And then she ends her story here. Little did I know that screeching sound was actually a man whom his wife waxed off his hairy chest in their apartment. All right. So she's making a joke. Let's go through that. So she was walking down the alley. She heard the screeching noise. She was scared. She ran away. But little did she know. She didn't know that the screeching noise was not a ghost. It was not a bad guy. It was just some wife waxing the hairy chest of her husband. All right. So you put wax on the hair and the husband was screeching. So that is Alyssas Story. No mistakes, just green. So she did a great job. I have nothing to teach her. All right, Alyssa, I have nothing to teach you other than continue writing, continue practicing, and continue using great vocabulary. All right, we're going to move on. Before we move on, we've got to calm down. Anjali, a man whose wife or a man whom his wife. Well, Anjali, I don't fix every mistake. So there all the writing tonight, I will fix a lot of mistakes, but I don't fix every mistake. I try to fix at a certain level. All right. So, Angeli, yeah, the last sentence could be rewritten many ways, but we're not going to worry about that too much. Yeah, Kumar, you don't need to pick. All right. Who was this? This was Wynn. And Wynn wrote a story here. Again, we're going to go through Wynn's story. I'm not going to fix every single mistake, so you guys might pick up a few more mistakes. That's fine. Wynn was talking about me. So 1.5 years ago, I started to watch Robin's live stream. Yeah, I've been doing these live streams for maybe yeah, a year and a half, 2 years, year and a half. I don't know. Long time, a lot of live streams. So her sentence is fine. Initially, I felt shy even to ask him my questions. All right, looks good. My favorite speech from him is that don't be afraid of making mistakes when we learn English. All right, so there's a few problems here. I don't like the word speech. Can you guys offer a different word? A speech is kind of very formal, but this is not really, I'm not really giving speeches, right? So what's another word we can say about my live stream? This is not a speech. What could we say? I'm taking a break. There's a little bit of delay, so all right, here we go. Advice would advise. You put advise, Nick. Be careful. Don't confuse. Let's go over here. All of you, I know this is confusing. Advise and advice. Advise. My marker's not very dark. Advise is the verb, and advice is the noun. All right. So advice could work there. That's a good place. Quote. Yeah, that could work. Expression. And Korea with Grace says saying, speaking. Well, many things could work there. Just I didn't like speech because I'm not really giving speeches. So I chose Korea with Grace. We chose the same word, saying. My favorite saying from him is that don't be afraid of making mistakes when we learn English. Yeah, Angeli, I'm checking. Advice. And I wanted to, she was paraphrasing, and I'm just going to make a direct quote. So I'm putting quotations here, quotation marks to, I'm going to make it a direct quote. Something I actually said. Don't be afraid of making mistakes when we learn English. So my favorite saying from him is don't be afraid of making mistakes when we learn English. And yeah, I will say that. Don't be afraid of making mistakes when we learn English. Later, I joined his WhatsApp group. A lot of you have the same story, live stream and WhatsApp. From the group, I got a best friend like my sister who is called Layla. So Layla in this group, she wrote about you. So I got a best friend like my sister who is called Layla. She reminded me to study English whenever she didn't see me on Robin's live stream. Is that true, Layla? You always reminded her to study English? Then we talk to conversations every single day to practice speaking skills. I have a problem with talk to. Let's change talk to. What could we use instead of talk to? Yeah, Layla is here. I don't like talk to there. What can we put instead of talk to? Korean with Grace. She is my best friend. I thought I was your best friend, Grace. Then we talk to conversations every single day. Talk to is a little awkward. We are talking to each other. Then we are talking to each other. Conversations every day. You're lolly. You're getting a little more complicated. I want to make it simple. I want to make it very simple. I'm going to change those two words into one word. We had. Michelle, yeah. I'm going to go with had. We started. No. I think we had conversations. That's a simple way. Good, Michelle. We had conversations, and this is Naz and Nick Sharma. Nick Sharma, we used to have. No, I think they still have. They still have. We discuss conversations. No, just we had conversations every day to practice speaking skills. Had would be the word, or the best. Oh. What did I... Oh, yeah. I added our speaking skills just to make the sentence a little better. Then we had conversations every single day to practice our speaking skills. So both of them could practice their speaking skills. I really appreciate Robin and Layla because they helped me to improve my English skills. All right. Wynn, you're not watching now, but hopefully you'll watch later. Nick Sharma, why not have? Then, good question. The honest reason I don't know exactly Nick Sharma is because I don't know if they still talk. I don't have all the information. All I know is she's talking a little bit past tense. I don't know if it's still happening. So I would have to talk to Wynn or Layla. Oh, that's it. So I'll read it out. 1.5 years ago, I started to watch Robin's live stream. Initially, I felt shy even to ask him my questions. My favorite saying from him is, "Don't be afraid of making mistakes when we learn English." Later, I joined his WhatsApp group. From the group, I got a best friend like my sister who is called Layla. Excuse me. She reminded me to study English whenever she didn't see me on Robin's live stream. Then we had conversations every single day to practice our speaking skills, and I don't know if they still have those conversations. I really appreciate Robin and Layla because they helped me to improve my English skills. All right, Wynn, you did a good job. Again, guys, I didn't fix 100%, but right now it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. All right, and we're going on to who's next? Next is Lenovo. And I don't know if Lenovo's watching. And this is Lenovo's. And he told a story, I think, probably from his country. Let's take a look. Oh, Korea with Grace. Wynn, why you only mention Layla? You have Grace. I'm not going to support you, Grace, because you didn't say I was your best friend. All right. While Tamel and Jersan, I don't know those names, but maybe those names have some meaning to some of you. While Tamel and Jersan argue with each other, Tamel said, "You are valueless," to Jersan. While Tamel and Jersan, if you're using wild, we would probably use the argued. While Tamel and Jersan argued with each other, Tamel said, "You are valueless," to Jersan. It's a little difficult. Oh, my neighbor is noisy. I was confused with the valueless. I might have said worthless, might be a better word, but I just left it for now. I put the comma there and I went on. Jerson laughed cynically and said, "If I am, let's see it with proof." I took out that period. Tamel calling a taxi immediately asked the taxi driver, "How much does it cost to go to Hagia Sophia?" I don't know how to pronounce that. Hagia Sophia. Where is that? In Hagia Sophia. That is in Turkey. I was there. I feel embarrassed. I went there and I forgot the name. So how much does it cost to go to Hagia Sophia if you take only me? Well, that calling, I'm gonna switch that to called. I made a few changes. Tamel called a taxi immediately and asked the taxi driver, comma, "How much does it cost to go to Hagia Sophia if you only take me?" And there's a big mistake at the end of that sentence. What is the mistake? At the end of that sentence, what's wrong?
Hagia Sophia or
Hagia Sophia. That's the correct pronunciation. Hagia Sophia
Hagia Sophia.
or Hagia Sophia.
Hagia Sophia
Hagia Sophia.
or Hagia Sophia.
Hagia Sophia. All right. How much does it cost to go to Hagia Sophia? That's a question, guys. That's a question. We need a question mark. And I'm very surprised a lot of students forget question marks. Hagia Sophia is an old cathedral in Turkey. Yes, I've been there. I just forgot the name. I went there in 2016. Question mark. Yeah, Layla, I'm not going to worry about that. The taxi driver said 2,000 Turkish lira. This time the Tamel asked, "If Dursun comes with me, how much will it cost?" The Tamel, we don't put the before a name. So he put the Tamel. We got to cut that out. This time, Tamel asked, if Dursun comes with me, how much will it cost? There's a period there. If you have a question mark, you don't need a period. So I'll get rid of that period. The taxi driver said again, no difference, still 2,000 Turkish lira. Tamel said to Dursun, you see, you have no value. All right. So I'll read that out. While Tamel and Dursun argued with each other, Tamel said, you are valueless. Again, I think maybe a better word would be worthless. Worthless. To Dursun. Dursun laughed cynically and said, if I am, let's see it with proof. Tamel called a taxi immediately and asked the taxi driver, how much does it cost to go to Hagia Sophia? If you take only me, the taxi driver said 2,000 Turkish lira. This time Tamel asked, if Dursun comes with me, how much will it cost? The taxi driver said again, no difference, still 2,000 Turkish lira. Tamel said to Dursun, you see, you have no value. I hope you understand the joke. All right, so that was from 49. That was from Lenovo. And I don't think Lenovo's here right now, so he'll have to watch it another time. Writing sample 4, moving along, which is Gertrudis. I saw Gertrudis here earlier. Let's take a look. It's a good story. Now we're getting into some really touching stories. This is her story. Be Homeless, My Story. All right, so with the title, this is a title. And with the title, I have a few problems. These are the problems, and I'm going to fix these problems. So I would change it to be homeless. If you just have be homeless, you're telling someone you should be homeless, which is wrong. We want to use being homeless. The action or existing as a homeless person. Excuse me. My story. This is a title. We're going to make every letter capital. Okay? Being homeless, my story. Cynically, Nick Shara. Cynically kind of means in a distrustful way, not very trusting. Capital letters here. All right. When I finished my medical degree in Sept 1980, I won a scholarship to study abroad. Wow, good for her. But we have a problem in this sentence. We have a very big problem in this sentence. What is the problem? What's the problem in that sentence? Small, Riaz? What's small? And Anjali, you and I think the same. You cannot write the short form. Lolly, you're going in the grammar. Grammar's fine. Just that's sept. That's sept right there. You can't write the short form, guys. You gotta write it out. September. The word is September. Also, she didn't have a capital letter. Needs a capital letter. I'm very strict in that with my writing September. Yeah, this is Nas. Capital letter sept. Sept is a short form. If you're writing some notes, you should still write. If you're writing the short form, you should still have a capital letter, always a capital letter, but you should put this period here. If you're like a title, you have the date in the title. But when you're actually writing, in your writing, yeah, you can't write sept. It's got to be September. All right. But anyway, I finished my medical degree in September 1980. I won a scholarship to study abroad. Looks like a good story because she's going to talk about being homeless. So when I finished my medical degree in September 1980, I won a scholarship to study abroad. It was in a hospital where I'd always dreamed to take my training in ophthalmology. And I don't know how to pronounce that because I'm stupid. That's a big term for me. As well, very quickly, that is eye related to eye doctor. So I think a lot of stupid people like me just say eye doctor, but if you're very intelligent,
ophthalmology.
All right, so the PH ophthalmology, makes sense. Ophthalmology. So related to the eye, she's going to be an eye doctor. In Barcelona, Spain. That year, the winter was inordinately freezing. So I highlighted inordinately. What do you guys think it is? Let's test that. What do you think inordinately means? Nick Sharma, optician. Yeah, I'm not really good with the different kinds of doctors. Oh, you guys, that's stupid. Inordinately, extremely, yeah, unusually. Yeah, inordinately can be something unusual or extreme. So inordinately freezing, particularly really, really freezing. Really, really, yeah, not regular. So that year the winter was unusually cold. Inordinately freezing. Fortunately, I overcame weather conditions, language barrier, also homesick. All right, I'm going to fix up a few things here. This is a little awkward. And I overcame the weather conditions. I changed that to this. I overcame terrible weather conditions, the language barrier, and also homesick. Now, homesick is still wrong. What is wrong about homesick? What's wrong about homesick? Well, you guys tell me how to fix homesick there. I will erase the board. Get my towel. He was thirsty. Again, it's very small and the marker's not so dark. Homesick is the adjective, I am homesick, and the noun form of that would be homesickness. So she overcame homesickness. Bad weather conditions and the language barrier. In January 1981, my scholarship was canceled. Uh-oh, big problem when your scholarship was canceled. Anyway, again, what's wrong with this sentence? In January 1981, what's wrong? This is not. Homesickness equals adjective. No, homesick is the adjective. Adjective, noun. This is the noun. And you guys know right away what I'm going to focus on. That January right there. You guys know that has to be a capital J. Days of the week, months of the year. We always express these as capital. So, scholarship canceled. The worst of all, my father passed away, so my father couldn't give me financial support. It's getting bad. Canceled scholarship, and then father passed away. No more money. No more money. Maria, we don't say on January, we always say in January. So she is correct to say in January, just we need. Yes, being homeless, that's possible. I'm thinking it's going to be a touching story. Yeah, well, it's already getting bad. So she's studying abroad. She wants to be the ophthalmologist. It's cold winter. Scholarships canceled. Father passed away. No more money. Even though I didn't have enough money, I decided to carry on. All right, continue to study, whatever. I didn't give up. And she didn't go. She didn't make us cry. She could have told more of her story. It's probably my fault because you're only allowed to send me 100 words. Her story, of course, is 1,000 words or more, but she had to make 100 words. So her final here is: a comfortable couch in a corner in the hospital's library was my warm bed during many weeks. So she wasn't homeless. She didn't say anything about sleeping on the street, just sleeping on a couch in the hospital's library. But I don't like that word during. Let's change that word during. And what's a better word than during? Riaz, only 100? Yes, 100 words is the maximum. Because it takes a long time for me to make these. For many weeks. This is Nas. Yeah, sounds good, Nas. Sounds good. For many weeks. All right, so I'll quickly read that. Being homeless, my story. When I finished my medical degree in September 1980, I won a scholarship to study abroad. It was in a hospital where I'd always dreamed to take my training in ophthalmology in Barcelona, Spain. That year, the winter was inordinately freezing. Fortunately, I overcame terrible weather conditions, the language barrier, and homesickness. In January 1981, my scholarship was canceled. The worst of all, my father passed away, so my family couldn't give me financial support. Even though I didn't have enough money, I decided to carry on. I didn't give up. A comfortable couch in a corner in the hospital's library was my warm bed for many weeks. And I would like to know that story in more detail, but we only have 100 words. Good job. It was a good story. Not too many mistakes. Again, I didn't fix every mistake. For many weeks. We don't use a capital letter on many. Many is just just many. All right, and we come to the last one, the last writing today, which is Layla's. And Layla wrote this. She's been waiting 2 weeks, over 2 weeks for me to check this. Sorry, Layla. And she wrote it before I made the 100-word maximum, so hers is a little longer. You can see Layla's is about 300 words. So you guys, it's very small. You got to move your phone closer to see the dialogue. All right, so she begins. First of all, you know there is no public transport in Saudi Arabia. I didn't know that. It wasn't allowed to the women to drive. All right, so we got a few mistakes here. It wasn't allowed to the women to drive. I would cut for women to drive. And maybe I would say in the past, because they can drive now, right? And I just noticed in that first sentence, there is no public transport. Yeah, we got to cut that ah. Thank you, Grace, for the coffee money. You can support the channel by joining the channel. It's very cheap. That buys me coffee money. All right. So first of all, you know there is no public transport in Saudi Arabia. In the past, it wasn't allowed for women to drive. That's too bad. Often we are as women need to go out to do something necessary, things like going to the hospital. I'm going to cut that. We are as women. We don't need to say that. So often women need to go out to do some necessary things like going to the hospital, etc. So we need a help man for doing everything, but my brothers and father are busy with their job and life. So a little bit awkward sentence. So we need a help man. A help man. What is a help man for doing everything? All right. So the first thing I did was you started this sentence with so, but actually I just continued the previous sentence. So I put comma so. I'm going to take out the help man. And I'm going to say, so we need help from a man to do everything. But my brothers and father are busy with their job and life. And then I added, so we need help from a man to do everything. Unfortunately, so I broke this into two sentences. Unfortunately, my brothers and father are busy with their, maybe we should say, jobs and lives. All right, so that's basically what I did. I just continued from the previous sentence with so, and I added unfortunately. I broke up the other sentence into two. That is horrible. Yeah. If you need the man and the man is busy, it must be tough living in Saudi Arabia, right? I don't know how many countries are like that. I guess a lot of Middle Eastern or Islamic countries don't give too many, or they put a lot of restrictions on women. You need a man to do many things. It's far hard for me to understand coming from a Western country because women are so equal. We cannot put rules or laws. We cannot make the laws different between men and women. That is horrible. But 2 years ago, the story gets better. The women were given the right to drive. So I would just take out the. So 2 years ago, women were given the right to drive. Good. And I'll take a quick break here to check. Yeah, Gertrudis was here earlier. I don't know if she's still here. Gertrudis, if you're still here, say hi. Children couldn't drive. Angeli, brothers and father, or brothers and father are. Oh, good question. Maybe I didn't fix that. My brothers and father's father are. Brothers and father are. This is Naz. That's why I'm a feminist. Well, I'm sure there's lots of feminists in Saudi Arabia, but it's tough there. All right, let's continue. 2 years ago, women were given the right to drive, so there's progress. All right, so we have to focus on the good. There is progress. As soon as the woman was allowed to drive, the youngest brother helped us for learning the basics of driving. All right, so these are the problems here. As soon as the woman was allowed to drive, and we're gonna cut out the youngest brother. My youngest brother. Cut it out. So as soon as women, plural, were allowed to drive, my youngest brother helped us for learning the basics of driving. At that time, there was no driving school in my city. We'll cut out the ah. There was no driving school in my city. Because of that, my sister decided to register in the driving school in Bahrain, the neighbor country, right? And instead of in, I want to change in. What do you guys think? What am I going to change into? I'm going to change that into a different word. What word am I going to change? What do you guys think? Type it out. What do you think, Teddy? We are still figuring out Teddy's name. Maybe by next week, Teddy will have a new name. So in, Teddy, I want to change the in, Teddy. So what should we change that to? Yeah, Teddy's right. Let's see what you guys say. Arman Amir on. No, sorry. Lolly Lolly at. Yes. Mullah Tharun at. Chris S at. Michelle at. Yes. So you guys, some of you said on. That's not right. In is awkward. The best word there would be at the driving school. We always want at a location. Maria Camacho, yes. Register, I think, is the best word, Takbir. So register is the good word there. She used a good word, register. In order to get the license, she had to spend a lot of money. Yikes. She began training 2 days in a week. And I'm going to cut that. 2 days a week. She began training 2 days a week. Unluckily, before completing training, my mother was infected with brain cancer. Now the story is getting very sad. Unluckily, that you need a really, really unluckily, very unfortunately. Layla. All right, so her sister's going to the driving school. It's expensive. Bad luck for the family. The worst case scenario, mom is infected with brain cancer. So she became need to extreme care. I'm going to change that to so she needed extreme care. Bahrain is my neighboring country. You don't need that Hi, sir. I'm Kishore. Good evening from India. Good evening from Korea. Bahrain is a country. She had to go to the other country for driving. All right. Due to that, my sister wanted to postpone the training to another time. And I'm going to change that 2 to a 4. But we supported her to complete her training in Bahrain. At last, she didn't pass the driving test. So, she has to go to the neighboring country. They have to spend a lot of money. And then mother is sick. She wants to quit, but the family says continue doing it. She didn't pass the driving test. That made her feel dejected. All right, so I would put feel dejected, and dejected is a good word. It should be green. Again, Layla, I made that new policy of good words being green yesterday, actually. So I didn't have a chance to add it to yours. Dejected is a good word. And what does dejected mean, guys? It made her feel dejected. We usually use feel before dejected. So you can guess it's a negative word. The story is so sad. All right, I'm just reading the comments. She decided to take another course after my mother's recovery. My sister and I had taken care of my mother for 4 months. We were passing through a rough time. Yeah, I can imagine it's a rough time. Unfortunately, on that sad day, we got a phone call from the hospital. You said, all right, green doesn't mean good in your again, I fixed this last week. Green doesn't mean good here. That is bad. Unfortunately, on that sad day, we have to change it to, unfortunately, one sad day. So on that sad day, it's hard for me to explain why right now because I'm really tired, but I can explain that later. It has to be one sad day. We got a phone call from the hospital. They told us that my mother passed away. So sorry, Layla, that your mother passed away. I know that's a difficult time. My mother also passed away. I know the feeling. They told us that my mother passed away. So they told us, the family, that Layla's mother passed away. They told us that our mother had passed away. So they told us our mother. It's not just your mother, Layla. It's your brothers too. For that, my sister decided not to take any courses for driving at the current time. and I would change because of that. You had for that, because of that. My sister decided not to take any courses for driving at the current time. Courses for driving. Switch that up to driving courses. Makes it a little simpler. So because of that, my sister decided not to take any driving courses at the current time. What else? Oh yeah, at the current time, I changed to at that time. About 4 months later, she resumed her training again. Get rid of that comma. You got comma there. There's nothing in English with comma. So about 4 months later, she resumed her training again. This time she passed the driving test successfully. All right, so it is a rough struggle just to get, for your sister to get her driver's license. But she needed more donation for buying a car. I don't like the word donation. Let's change it. What's a better word than donation? Korean with Grace. Wow, I can see Layla's English is getting better and better. Amazing. Yeah, look at this. She wrote so many words. I wonder how long it took you to write this, Layla. It is pretty good. Alpita. Tarragon, I'm late. We're almost finished. But she needed more help for buying a car. I think there's a... Yeah, Anjali. Layla, I think we're talking directly about money, right? She needed more money for buying a car. Support. Yeah, support could work. But let's get direct. She needs money. So Michelle, yeah, you could use support. Funds. Yeah, we could use funds. My brother supported her until she was able to buy it. Eventually, she bought a new car. All right, good. She needed more cash. I guess that's possible. But I chose the word, just the simplest and most direct word, money. And that was one of her greatest accomplishments. Okay, what's wrong? The last sentence there. Smoker, where's my paragraph? Did you put a paragraph under last week? Okay, while you guys are looking, what in the last sentence there, what is the grammatical mistake? While you guys are typing the grammatical mistake in the last sentence, I'm going to see why I don't have smokers. I'm doing some writing tomorrow. Smoker SY, do you have another name? All right, I'm checking. I don't see... I just see, hi, Mr. Robin. I don't see any paragraphs, Smoker SY. So I'm looking at last week or the last lab. It just says, hi, Mr. Robin, and I replied, hello. Where is your paragraph? Smoker SY, yeah, on WhatsApp group. If you write a paragraph in WhatsApp, I correct it in WhatsApp. If you write a paragraph on Facebook, I correct it on Facebook. If you want me to correct your paragraph on YouTube, you have to write it in the comments of YouTube. All right, so you guys got that mistake. And yeah, so the one, if we're using one of many, so accomplishments one of her greatest accomplishments. She has many accomplishments. This was one of her greatest accomplishments. Oh, all right, I'll just quickly read it. I forgot that mistake in the first sentence. So first of all, there is no iskat public transport in Saudi Arabia. In the past, it wasn't allowed for women to drive. Often, women need to go out to do necessary things like going to the hospital, etc., so we need help from a man to do everything. Unfortunately, my brothers and father are busy with their jobs and life, and that is horrible. 2 years ago, women were given the right to drive. As soon as women were allowed to drive, my youngest brother helped us for learning the basics of driving. At that time, there was no driving school in my city. Because of that, my sister decided to register at the driving school in Bahrain. In order to get the license, she had to spend a lot of money. She began training 2 days a week. Unluckily, before completing training, my mother was infected with brain cancer. And actually, we should, again, I don't talk about every mistake, but I'm going to talk about another mistake. We shouldn't say infected. We should use diagnosed. So my mother was diagnosed with brain cancer, so she needed extreme care. Due to that, my sister wanted to postpone the training for another time. But we supported her to complete her training in Bahrain. At last, she didn't pass the driving test. That made her feel dejected. She decided to take another course after my mother's recovery. My sister and I had taken care of my mother for 4 months. We were passing through a rough time. Unfortunately, one sad day, we got a phone call from the hospital. They told us that our mother had passed away. Because of that, my sister decided not to take any driving courses at that time. About 4 months later, she resumed the training again. This time she passed the driving test successfully. But she needed more money for buying a car. My brother, good brother, supported her until she was able to buy it. Eventually, she bought a new car. That was one of her greatest accomplishments. All right, so thank you, Layla. You wrote that a few weeks ago. But if you guys are planning to write a paragraph now, this size of paragraph is not allowed anymore. So the homework, if you want me to check it on the YouTube, you have to write it in the comments section of this video. Probably tomorrow is best, or sometime this week, and I will check it next week. I will edit it in a future video. I don't edit it perfectly. I just go over the main things. So if you want a 100% perfect edit, no, I would just focus on a lot of the big mistakes. And it should be a maximum of 100 words. If it is over 100 words, I will not use it in the live stream. Okay, guys? Tired. Let's see the comments. This is Naz. Tomorrow, Naz, I think you went over 100. Naz, please check the comments section where you wrote your paragraph, because if you went over 100, I can't allow it. You got to rewrite it. Tomorrow I have Daniel, Nick, and Farhani. Daniel, Nick, and Farhani. You guys will be tomorrow. This is Naz. Here, let me just check. It's very important to follow the rules of the writing, because I got to check a lot of students' homework every week, and following the rules helps me to check homework quickly. So if you do not follow the rules, I will probably reject your homework, guys. So make sure your spelling is good. Make sure it's 100. And I'm quickly checking. Why don't I have Naz here? So yeah, next week Daniel Nick Farhani, or tomorrow Daniel Nick Farhani. And this is Naz. Yeah, Naz, you went over 100. So you got. I wrote in the comments. Shorten it, rewrite it again, and we'll try to get it up tomorrow. Okay, so Naz, I'll check that and I'll put it up tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. Come back, Naz, tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm tired and I still have to go into the WhatsApp group. So thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Let's go back to the main screen. Be back tomorrow to finish off with Daniel, Nick, Farhani, and Naz. Yeah, Naz, I'll do it. Help me join the channel. Don't click this button. Under the videos, you will see the join button, or in the links, you will see a join button. Please join, become a member of the channel, support the channel. That helps me to buy coffee. Grace, thank you very much. Grace supported with a coffee. Michelle, thank you. Layla, thank you. Lolly, thank you. Bad Liar, I saw you here earlier. Andre, I don't know if he's still around. Thank you. These guys are supporting me. They are helping me, and I will help them with extra help whenever they need it. So, yeah, guys, I'm too tired now. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.